So why do people want to get married? At this age, you should get married. At this age, you should have a kid. It seemed like it was not a rational decision to me. We have this myth in Korea. When you're 29, 39, 49, 59, 69. 69 is a good number, but a lot of parents, they still force their kids to get married without good reason. Good guy becomes good husband. Good woman becomes a good wife. Welcome to our podcast. I've got a lot of questions regarding my marriage status. Why aren't you married? That's a question that's difficult to answer. But we're going to talk about marriage, my kind of favorite subject.
그래, 주변에 이제 결혼한 친구들 많잖아요. 그분들은 어떻게 지내고 계세요?
So most of my friends are married with the kids. Most of them, not all of them, are very happy with their partner, husband and or wife. And they went kind of the natural course of the marriage. They used to argue a lot in the beginning of the married life. And then now they are pretty happy. In Korea, it seems that it's quite common to tell single people to not get married. 결혼하지 마. 해보면 별거 없어. 많이 하잖아요. 그죠? I've heard that so many times when I was 9 to 5 from my coworkers. Means that they're not happy. Also, I've heard that from my good friends, like piece of advice they were willing to give me, although I didn't ask for it. They used to tell me this a lot. There are things in life that have the right time. At this age, you should get married. At this age, you should have a kid or kids. And then at this age, you should have this type of career in your life. Like a textbook, you should live your life like this. And one of them is always about marriage. Like between, let's say, like in your late 20s or early 30s, you're supposed to be married. And that sounds, to me, that seems more critical for girls, for women. So when I got my first job at LG, a lot of people got married. I stayed there for less than 2 years, and I had so many wedding invitations from my coworkers who just joined the company with me. And the surprising thing was a lot of people broke up with their ex-boyfriend or girlfriend and found a new one and got married really fast. So I had a male friend and female friend in LG. We went to training together and all that. We became like good friends. A big group of friends we had, and this guy and this girl, they each had their girlfriend and a boyfriend. And in the beginning of your career, especially at corporate, it's very exciting. You see bright future. It seems like it's gonna last forever until you retire, and your retirement seems so far. So it feels like you have everything. Naturally, that leads you to kind of look down on your existing girlfriend. They're not as interesting, especially if you're a girl and you already have a boyfriend and he's not doing as good as you are. Like, for example, he didn't get a job at corporate, like 대기업. No. And he's one good example is this girl in my team. She had a boyfriend. They dated for like 3 years, quite a long time. And she got a job in LG, and he was still at school, like graduate school. And the economy was quite bad at the time. So she had to wait for 1 year for him to graduate. And then he was very unsure if he was going to get a good job after 1 year. So long story short, she dumped him because she had a fling with this guy who also had a girlfriend. Okay, this guy's case is a little different. She also cheated on him. This guy's girlfriend was a school teacher, and she cheated on him with a PE teacher, which is quite typical. So anyway, so long story short, he decided to break up with her. Regardless of their boyfriend and girlfriend, they had a fling. And I was there. I witnessed the whole thing. It's like, oh, you have a boyfriend and you have a girlfriend and you guys are together like whole. If you get a job at LG, Hyundai, Samsung, the big corporates, they send you to like a long training. Like sometimes mine was like one training was like for 3 weeks. You sleep there, you're not allowed to get out. So you sleep there, eat there, do project together. You're stuck with the same people, and that's when a lot of people have flings, right? And in my company, it was 50-50, male, female, 50-50. So it was very good environment to have flings with people. This guy and this girl, both of them used to be my good friends. They were my good friends. And I witnessed the whole thing. Like they're always together, eat together. Even when they're not doing the project together, they always make time to be together. And all of us knew they're not single. And after the training, like 3 weeks, we had another training for 2 weeks. And we all went there together. Then I saw the progress of their feelings they're developing. And after the whole training, I think like 1 or 2 months, you don't really do anything at corporate. There are a lot of trainings and a lot of classes. You have to learn about the company and your work, blah, blah, blah. You have a lot of free time around. And also company encourage you to get to know each other. So anyway, less than a year, they got married. they broke up with a boyfriend and girlfriend. I remember this very vividly. She said, Jed, what if I marry someone in this corporate? Let's say the salary was, let's say 50G, right? Like annual income is 50G. Just say that for example. If I make 50G and my husband works here, so he makes at least 50G, that's 100G. It'd be amazing. I remember that. And that sickened me a little bit, to be honest, because she had a boyfriend at the time. And I knew that someone she was talking about was this guy who was also my friend. And eventually, long story short, they got married within a year. So I had to go to their wedding. It seemed like it was not a rational decision to me. Because when you get a job at corporate, you're very emotional. And everything is good. You start to have like a stable income and you have a lot of free time around because you're a freshman at the company. You only need to spend money and have a good time. Long story short, they're not happy. They are in a very terrible state of marriage. They have kids. I'm not gonna say how many, but they have more than one. And I also lost contact with them because something happened in the family, and there's no trust between them. Because it's quite natural that they don't have a trust because they both dumped their old girlfriend and boyfriend. So there's a very little trust, but they already have kids, and so it's difficult to divorce. Last time I checked, none of them were happy, and that scared me. And even at their wedding, I was always wondering, is that a good choice? So we have this myth in Korea. When your age ends with a number 9, it's a bad year for you. So when you're 19 is you're studying. So 19, let's skip that. When you're 29, 39, 49, 59, 69. 69 is a good number, but okay. So 79. So when you're this age that ends with 9, you got to be very careful. So you want to avoid a big event in your life, such as marriage. Marriage is a very good example. So when you're 29, you don't want to get married. So you want to get married at 28 or 30, but not 29. It was also someone from LG. She was my senior, and she was 28. So she was going to be 29 next year. And one day she told us, the whole team, "Oh, I broke up with my boyfriend." It's like, okay. And I always thought she was single. And a few months later, she sent me the invitation for her wedding. It's like, oh, things happen really fast. This guy must be really nice. Must be love at first sight. And she goes, "Oh, he's my ex." Like that also makes sense. And maybe you change your heart. I wasn't going to ask like so many questions. I was just, because the Korean wedding, just need to pay. So I wasn't very interested, but I just said, oh, maybe he was a very nice guy, and you realized you almost missed him. Like, he was a good guy, I assume. I didn't want to elaborate the conversation, and she told me, no, he's just okay. It's like, so I was like, okay. And she goes, well, I broke up with him because I figured I didn't love him as much. But he was okay, like with his job, his family background and all that. He was okay, but I didn't love him as much. So we broke up, and I had like several sogeting, a blind date, and blah, 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 blah. And all of them didn't really have a good job, like my ex-boyfriend, and their family background also, meh. So I figured my ex is the best guy, and I really don't want to get married at 29. So let's do this before this year ends. So it's like, this is a lot to take in. It's like, are you sure? He's like, yeah, I'm very, very sure. I really want to get married. And next year I'll be 29. I really don't like that. Which means if I miss this opportunity, then I will probably miss him. Although there's no like a strong desire to marry him. He's all right. He'll be a good husband. So as a life partner, I'll pick him. And if I miss opportunity again, then I'll be 29 next year. So I'm not going to do that next year. Then I have to wait for 2 years. That's too long. I just want to be a wife. So yeah, that's it. It's like, this is a lot to take in. I was quite shocked. But it's your husband. Well, okay. So I'm guilty of being too careful, but that's too easy for me. Yeah. I wonder how she lives now with a husband. So I have a friend of my friend. I know him. I know of him. He went to SNU. He has a green card, and he had a double major in music and business, which is pretty amazing. And not to mention, he's bilingual. Obviously, he has a green card, so bilingual, the perfect English, perfect Korean. So he listens to music. He can write it. It's so good. Like, he's very talented. But again, you gotta make money. Unlike me, he chose the career to support himself. So he got a job at the corporate in construction field, which is pretty amazing in terms of cash. He makes a lot of money, and he's been working for more than 10 years now. He didn't do masters, so he got a job right away. And also he has a green card, so he didn't go to the army. So he got a job even before, before everyone, basically, because Korean men, we have to do the military service. So he skipped that. So he has more work experience than most of men, and he's stuck with the same company. So his level is quite high, which means more money. Apparently, his private life is quite clean. He's not a scotch chaser. He's not so crazy about drinking. But the one thing, my friend is very careful when he talks about his friends and appearance. Basically, my friend is a gentleman, and he used the word ugly. So this guy is ugly. They're very good friends. There's a good respect from each other. But he said, "Oh, I feel really bad for saying this, but he's quite ugly, especially for girls. It's quite bad."
What about height?
Quite short and not very good looking. But he doesn't say it. He doesn't. Okay, so this is the first time he used the word ugly. 못생겼어. Like, 친구 좀 못생겼어. Okay. So that stops him from getting a wife. He's been trying for so long. And his green card, which is a big plus. And culturally, he can be American. Culturally, he can be Korean, full Korean. He can be full Korean when he needs to. So he's like a hybrid. And amazing job, a lot of money saved up. His hobby is piano. So good guy, good husband material. But he's been single for so long because he's not very physically attractive, appearance-wise, and also short. And girls never pick him for their date. They always say that he's a nice guy. I know of him, but I don't really know him. But my friend said he's such a nice guy, good friends with everyone, and everyone likes him at work. He doesn't complain about his work either. Although, construction industry is quite tough, but he doesn't complain. So I assume he's quite strong as well, like mentally. So he joined the duo. He had no choice because he had a lot of blind date already because with all these conditions, he's like a top, right? Except for his face and the height. So he joined duo, had an interview at the office, and they were amazed. This guy will be good asset for us. Let's do this. And he spent more than 12 dates. So that's the usually deal, right? And he still didn't find his girlfriend / wife. And twice, they exchange photos at marriage agency. So when you have a date from this agency, it means that they're okay with your face, and there's a height as well. So they know your height, they know their face. And my friend told me one time he went on a date from that marriage agency, and the girl said so he was waiting at the restaurant, nice restaurant. Obviously, he has cash, and he really wants this, nicely dressed and everything. And the girl comes, and she said, 사진이랑 얼굴이 너무 다른데? Didn't even say hello. So you look so different from photo. And whole dinner was very dull. Like, she was obviously not listening, like looking around, and it was so obvious she didn't want to be there. And before we even finished the food, he said, "Oh, you want to go?" I was like, "Oh yeah." And she left. And that's really bad story. Quite sad. But again, you cannot blame the girls. If you don't feel the attraction, then how can you blame them?
그렇게 하는데 행동이 너무 무례하긴 한 것 같아요.
Rude. So rude. Because she picked him, right? So that's so rude. But again, the rude behavior is obviously off. It's not on. It cannot be forgiven. But the rest of the girls, like 10 girls, not picking him is not their fault, right? Because they are now attracted to the guy. It's really sad. I mean, I'm single, and I was listening to the story. I felt really bad.
좀만 눈을 낮췄으면 결혼할 수 있었을 것 같은데 잘 모르겠네요. 근데 눈을 낮추지 않았기 때문에 그러지 않았을까 싶네요.
David has his doubts about this guy because sometimes girls get older and they let go of their requirements a lot of times. And oftentimes that's appearance. The first thing they give up on is appearance. Some of our staff's friend, he's a doctor and he's bald, completely bald. But the doctor, being a doctor, it overcomes everything. So he's married. This guy, I wouldn't say his conditions and all these requirements is not as good as a doctor, but again, all the things are overall quite excellent. I mean, he even has green card. They can live in the States together. That's also a big plus, right? Especially for the girls, it's a big plus. And one of the reasons why having a green card is good is because when you have enough cash, you can always go to the States for the education when you have kids. That's a big plus. Maybe his standard is also kind of high, but we don't have an answer though. Yeah, but that's David's doubts, and I think it makes sense though. So I have a good friend. This guy is similar to the SNU guy, the good job guy, short guy, ugly guy. Close friend of mine, he really wants to get married. He's been feeling like that for like 5 years. Still single. On paper, he's also perfect. And he even has apartment. So all he needs is a woman, and he doesn't care about anything. He doesn't care if she drinks. He doesn't care if she smokes. He doesn't care if she's not so pretty. He just says that, if there's only chemistry, I would go for it. Because we are not young, we tend to look for younger girls, but he doesn't care. He's okay with. He also had a blind date with a girl 5 years older, and everyone still dumped him. Yeah, because also the same case, he's not very good looking. He's taller than me, but he's not very attractive. And he smokes a lot, he drinks a lot, he eats a lot, and he's a little bit overweight. He's not fat, but he's a little bit overweight. And for some reason, girls don't find him attractive. His standard is so low. Like friends, like I don't, but mutual friends, they mostly stop him from dating like any girls because he doesn't really care about anything, only chemistry, because he has everything worked out for him. Good job, family is everyone in his family is doctor, so they have a lot of cash around, and he's the only son who is single. But still, he struggles. But this guy, thing about this guy is he refuses to join the marriage agency. Some people have that, right? Like, oh, I don't like it. It's not unnatural. It's so weird. I don't have that feeling, but this guy has it, so he refuses. His parents his parents forced him to join the dating agency, marriage agency, but he's like no, I really don't want that. Only blind date or like I want to meet someone naturally, blah blah blah. So okay, but so this guy also. So basically, him and me, we're the weird ones, like single but want to get married, but not happening with him either. It's funny because we're both singles, and I feel bad for him. I have another case. It's a female. This girl, actually two girls, very very similar. One girl is the same age as me, although I'm not gonna say my age. But and so one is also Duna, 1 year older. So they're quite late, very late, because they're girls. Me, not so much because I'm a guy. I'm sorry to say this, but I see their problem very clearly. One thing, okay, I'm gonna just combine both and lay out the problems. One girl, she is only after handsome man, and she's not young, and she's very late to get married. I don't want to say somebody's late for the marriage, but I'm saying in Korea she's very very late. She doesn't make a lot of money. Family background not really good. Both of them actually, they don't make a lot of money. And she's always after handsome man. So nowadays she's even after young guys. So the younger guys dating her, they're not serious. They just want casual relationship, but she wants to get married. So obviously what they want is different. And she complains, and I see the problem very clearly. But we are not very comfortable, like me telling her what the issue is. And also I don't want to. She still struggles. Like why can I not have a husband? Because you're after handsome man only. And she told me several times, I cannot give up on that. I cannot live with an ugly guy. Okay, but you're not as beautiful though. She's okay, just okay. She's not as beautiful. But again, you being not so beautiful or not so handsome doesn't mean that you have to date ugly person. So I'm with her, but when it comes to marriage, you have to let go of some of your requirements. So there's things that you cannot let go. And she, in her case, that's face. She wants like a pretty face. And the other girl, quite similar. In my opinion, she is a little better looking, but she's super arrogant. She thinks she's better than everyone else. So conversation usually sounds very negative. So I choose not to join the conversation. And she told me that she really wants to get married. She wants this nice wedding. So her standard is super high. Her problem is arrogance. She thinks she's better than everyone else. And also I have a friend that he went to very good school. And something happened when he was in uni. So because of the family issue, he had to waste like 5 years of his life. So his life got a little screwed. So he doesn't really have a good job. Let's say he works for Amazon, like in Korea, something like Amazon. So he's like a delivery guy, like a physical labor. And so something broke him emotionally. I feel really bad also. And also I should be worried about myself, but when I hear stories like this, it breaks my heart. Because this guy was like, in his uni, he must have thought that he had a bright future, but something happened. It kind of wasn't his fault. So anyway, so he had to waste his time, and he missed that opportunity with like a college degree and all that. So now he's working for Amazon, like Korean version. I mean, working for like a logistics is not bad, but because he had a good future when he was younger, like inside he's broken. So he didn't have confidence to even apply for big companies like a 9 to 5, like office job. So he gave up on all that. And now he's been working for like logistics, physical work for many, many years because he's broken inside. Marriage is not an option. So I also heard from my friend, like including all these friends, because we know all these friends all together. One of my friends told me that I am the only guy who really wants to get married out of his single friends, because like this guy, he's broken inside. None of them wants to get married. Yeah, it's quite sad. Me, and also, as I said, I'm not saying this to pity myself, but again, I don't really have a confidence either. So right now, I'm very careful dating. I start a relationship. I always step back even when the opportunity comes around. I don't really grab it. I'm kind of similar, but his case is very extreme. And I also have like a little hope. Maybe in future, maybe next year, 2 years later, maybe I'll be stable. Then I can like pursue. But this guy has like a zero hope. Like he's just closed that window. Yeah, I feel really bad.
Why do people want to get married?
One, not me, but one is the social norm. Like it's been like this for a long time. Especially my parents' generation. You have to get married. But my parents, my mom is different. She always tells me that, oh, son, you don't have to get married. It's like, okay, chill. I do want to. It's just that it's not happening. But a lot of parents, they always thought marriage is a must. So a lot of them still force their kids to get married without good reason. And usually they don't even ask, right? Do you want to get married or not? They just say, why aren't you married? Right?
What about you? Why you want to get married?
Because I think life is a journey and I don't enjoy traveling alone, literally and figuratively. So I want to enjoy this journey and reach my goal with somebody, helping each other. And also building a family with a kid it's a value that should be respected by everyone. Like building a family with the kids, I don't think we need a reason to do so. Maybe I'm old school, I don't know. But again, if my life doesn't allow me to do it, because I don't think everyone should be a parent. See what I mean? There are a lot of terrible fathers, terrible mothers. Because I'm not really happy with my family, sometimes I question myself, maybe I'll be a horrible father. And I also have this fear. But at the same time, I really want to try to become a good father, good husband. Loving father, loving husband. It's so the fear and my will, they exist at the same time. But my will is a bit stronger than my fear. And there's a belief that I can do this. And once you have kids, you try to become a good father or mother. It doesn't happen like that. You got to be a good person already. Then naturally, the life leads you to become a good father because you're already a good person. David also said the same thing. Good guy becomes good husband, and good woman becomes a good wife. I always question myself if I'm ready to become a good husband or a good father. I think I am now, but the only problem is like a finance right now because something happened last year. But mentally, emotionally, I think I'm ready. I am a kind of guy who thinks I should be perfect before pursue this project, something big in my life. But it doesn't have to be. I know in my head, it doesn't have to be like that. And a lot of you told me in the comment, it doesn't have to be. Emotionally, I am very, very ready. But other things are not helping right now. Yeah. It's difficult. Today we kind of wanted to have fun, but the conversation went a little serious. So something to think about. And also a lot of you seem married. So you can share your thoughts. I'm going to share something from the Bible. Thanks to David. Genesis chapter 1, verses 27 through 28. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him. male and female created he them. And God blessed them. And God said unto them, Be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth. 하나님이 자기 형상, 곧 하나님의 형상대로 사람을 창조하시되 남자와 여자를 창조하시고 하나님이 그들에게 복을 주시며 하나님이 그들에게 이르시되 생육하고 번성하여 땅에 충만하라. So why do people want to get married? Maybe it is, indeed, the will and purpose of God. Thank you for watching.